Hello and welcome to Health Show with Amara from our London studios. I'm Dr. Amara Sohail. Today our topic is physical fitness. And we've got a very special guest all the way from US, Dr. Tania Avais. Dr. Tania Avais is an emergency medicine clinician, but apart from that, she is a marathon runner. She is an inspiration to women, especially Pakistani women, because to my knowledge, she is the only Pakistani doctor who has done as many marathons as she has. She has completed 22 marathons all over the globe. So let's welcome Dr. Tania Avais. Thank you very much, Dr. Tania, for sparing time from your very hectic and busy schedule while you are visiting UK from US. So we really feel very honored with your presence in our studios.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and hello. Thank you very much, Amara, for giving me this great opportunity to introduce myself and to try to teach my other Pakistani women that nothing is impossible, and running marathon can be done by any woman if she sets her mind in it. Yeah. So
I agree with what you've just said, but before we talk about your contributions in all these marathons and listen to the stories, we want you to tell our viewers your journey in life, starting from Pakistan to US and so on and so forth.
Thank you. I am a Rawalpindi medical graduate from Pakistan. I was born and raised in Abbottabad. That is a hill station, beautiful hill station. And then after my medical school graduation, I migrated to USA along with my husband, Dr. Avais Masood. Then during our training for our profession, we always have been keeping ourselves very fit. And if you can say that we both are physical fanatics, that won't be wrong. So during my school years, I have always been athlete, especially I was sprinter, like short distance, and I used to do hiking in Abbottabad mountains a lot along with my father who passed away. But fortunately, I got married to my husband who is more athletic than I am.
So it was a match made in heaven.
It was a match made in heaven, exactly. And then when we migrated to USA, my husband kept on running, and he did his first marathon in 2001. That was New York City Marathon. That's the most famous and old marathon in the world. I got my inspiration, to be honest with you, for marathon running from my husband.
But you said that before you met your husband, you already were an athlete. So it was, of course, like a very nice match where or maybe you were inspired from him because of his participation in athletics.
Yes.
As well. So,
yes, quite true. But the thing is that in Pakistan, there is no concept of running marathons. Marathon is like endurance, long distance course, and it's very, very hard on your body. You have to train very hard, and you have to have environment for that, which unfortunately Pakistan doesn't give you that opportunity, especially women.
Because of the cultural
yes.
limitations and of course inhibitions, because of course running marathon is not very simple, and of course like you have to practice, and there are no such opportunities.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
So, I mean, do you think there are opportunities available now? Because you're talking about the times when you were raised in Pakistan. That was a few years back. So, do you think things have changed since?
Unfortunately not. When I go back to visit in Pakistan, I see that women, they are not participating in any athletic events like they should, as they do in USA, in Europe, in other countries. And that inhibition and that preventing them from doing so is still there, unfortunately. And that's why I'm doing my interview with you to introduce myself. Maybe somebody right over there will have some inspiration from my marathon running.
I mean, you were fortunate that you met with a man who actually encouraged you to participate in things that he was himself doing. But it's a culture or maybe religious inhibitions that we don't see very many Pakistani men who will be very supportive of their wives or women to participate in such activities. So when Dr. Avais did his first marathon, you were inspired. And then did you not find that it was quite a challenging task, because it's not just you go for marathon, you have to do preparations in advance as well?
Yes. Actually, I was there to cheer him on, okay? I picked him up when he finished, and he looked at me and he said, listen, I have seen you through all these years, and you are a better runner than I am. And I challenge you to do this marathon. Do you accept this challenge? And I told him, listen, you are challenging a woman, Pakistani woman. So let's do that. Next year, I will run the same marathon in better timing than you. And he challenged me and I accepted that. Next year, I ran same New York City marathon 1 year ahead of his time.
Wow, that is
I beat him.
You did. How did he take it? Because men, their egos are, did he not think that his ego was hurt, that you did
My
better?
husband, I'm fortunate enough, to be honest with you. It's not that he's my husband, that's why I'm saying this thing. He is feminist.
He promotes women.
He always encourages me for anything. And he's the one who encouraged me for this interview, and you know it.
Absolutely. Of course, like you said that you have not done it before, but he was motivating you because he felt that it is important that women should listen to your story and they should feel inspired, because everything that you are doing, it is so inspirational.
He inspired me and he encouraged me so much to do the next year marathon because he sees that I have a talent. He always sees that. Anything I have, he encourages me to do that. So I am fortunate enough. But you're right that in our society back home, they're not very...
not very.
I will not say all of them.
Majority men.
To be honest with you, they are not very supportive.
Majority men, they would not want this kind of activity.
Yes, but can I correct one thing? We are talking about women, right? But even men, sports in Pakistan, they're not very common.
And that also for clinicians, because they are so busy with their clinical work.
Yes.
So how did you find time? Because we hear that life as a doctor in US is very demanding, and of course you have to look after your family and you have to do the work. So how did you find time to practice or prepare for the marathons in advance and then participate it and complete it?
Well, I started by running short distance, like 10 miles races. And then half marathons. Half marathon is like 13.1. No, sorry, correct, 13.2 miles. People call me crazy. She's crazy. even at work. Because no matter the time, the season, snow, cold, hot, even if it's 100 Fahrenheit, I run. One time, let me give you an example. I did my emergency medicine shift, which is 12-hour shift, and it's very busy emergency department. I saw 70 patients in 12 hours. I came home. It was 12 o'clock, 12 a.m. And I told my husband, okay, I didn't do my running today, so let me go outside and just around the house. And he said, no, you can do it at treadmill. This is not the time. Anyway, it's not safe. I told him, okay, I will not. I still sneaked out. And then he came after me, literally, and he held me and he dragged me into the house. He said, no, this is too much. So that's how I am.
But it must be helping with building up your stamina, because you do 12 hours shift, which is busy, but doing these marathons and physical activity, that must be...
That's why I am emergency medicine clinician. Emergency medicine clinician doesn't have a cozy office. You have to be on your feet 12 hours and seeing all these patients, putting up with them. You know how I did it? Because of marathon.
Yeah, that because
of that endurance and stamina came from marathon. And all my other co-workers, they look at me and they say, oh my God, this crazy lady, she is always on her feet.
But then apart from the physical challenges, what about the mental calmness? Because I know that when you've got a very busy shift and emergency medicine, no one would even think about a quieter shift. So do you not feel that you're exhausted as well, and you would want to sit and relax and not even think about anything?
Amara, that's a very good question. And my answer to you is, again, that when other people will say, okay, after 12-hour shifts, you come home, relax, watch TV. My relaxation is running.
Wow.
Running, marathon, training for marathon, commitment for marathon is my relaxation and meditation. Trust me, when I am running, I think about everything. Everything comes back on my mind.
So, Dr. Tania, it sounds like running marathon is not just an athletics for you. It is a lot more than that. Is that correct?
Let me give you my own quote. I have learned that finishing marathon, 26.2 miles in hot or cold weather, is just not an athletic achievement. It's a state of mind, and a state of mind that teaches you that anything is possible. What does it mean? It means that running marathon teaches you multiple things, which I experienced. It gives you relaxation, athletic fitness, mental and physical health becomes absolutely marvelous, and you don't age that quicker.
I can see that. I didn't introduce that you are a grandmother as well. So tell us about that part also, because definitely it doesn't...
Yes, I am I'm fortunate enough that I have two grandsons. One is 2 years old and one is 7 months old. And that part of being grandmother promoted me more to run more. So by the time my grandsons will be able to run with me,
okay,
which he started right now again, and one day, hopefully, I will be running with my grandsons along with my sides, in any marathon.
So since we are talking about your grandchildren, what about your children? So of course, like with your hectic life, you gave them time as well. How did they feel when you came home and instead of spending time with your family? I mean, tell us about your children.
I have my daughter. I have only one daughter. I raised her just like normal other Pakistani women do. I gave her my full attention, my time, and I wanted her to be runner, but she didn't like that part. Because let me tell you something, running is not for everyone. I'm not saying, okay, run. You got to love running. If you don't, then don't do it.
You can't be forced to get into it.
I love it. And once you start,
there's no
in
stopping.
The beginning, you will feel obstacles. Like physically, oh no, I can't do it, your soreness, it's so much more than that. But once you cross those obstacles, mental and physical, there's no stopping. There's no going back.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But did your daughter...
And my daughter, she didn't find it quite interesting, although she does go to gym, we have our own gym at home, but alhamdulillah, I raised her very well. She's a very good girl. She was born and raised in USA, but she speaks very good Urdu. And she's very much...
Did she follow your footsteps? Is she a medic also?
Yes. And she just finished her residency in internal medicine. And now she will do her fellowship in, I think, pulmonary critical. She will follow her father's footsteps. Not emergency. Not emergency.
Yeah. So now, Dr. Tania, if you tell our viewers, what does a marathon running involve? What is the process? So you make a plan that I would like to participate in this particular marathon. What is the next step then? What do you do?
First of all, you have to do, it's not one day thing that, okay, just go and start running marathon. No. You have to have physically fit. And to be physically fit, you have to do so many exercises like upper body, lower body, weightlifting. But on one side, and swimming also, if you can do, on one side it's that, and the other part is you have to start training for the running. Training for the running is like you have to do it baseline. Now, for those who have never run, they got to start from scratches. Scratches mean that they have to make a baseline. Like suppose I have to run 2 miles, 1 mile baseline, and then slowly they increase it.
Build up the stamina.
Yes, build up the stamina. And that gives you, and you have to be persistent. That's one thing. And in 6 months, I think, that takes you 6 months.
It takes 6 months
6 months to 1 year to complete the training. But that you have to be persistent.
And is there any physical testing beforehand, because to make sure that there are no underlying medical conditions, because not everyone is aware of any health conditions that may not be obvious, but when you are doing such a strenuous physical activity, they may, for example, heart problem or so many other medical conditions. Do you think it is important to be tested for those beforehand?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that, unfortunately, those who have cardiac issues and all that, they will already know, and they should not be doing that much strenuous. They have to do
restrict their activities to
not restrict. I shouldn't say, because this is aerobic activity, and trust me, I have my relatives. I have my own relatives. They have gone through cardiac bypass. They completed 2 or 3 marathons.
Really?
Really.
So it is possible.
It is possible.
Yeah.
It is possible, and it is actually really good for your heart.
All right.
It is aerobic.
I see.
It's really good for your heart.
Because, I mean, those who don't do it, I mean, I can say that I'm one of those. I think it is impossible.
No,
it's too hard.
Nothing is
impossible. Too difficult. You have to be, you have to have a mindset, and physically you have to be at the, you know,
if you start step by step, in 1 year, if you are persistent, I can bet you can run with me.
Really?
Persistence.
Okay, so yeah, that's
maybe one day, Amara.
Absolutely, why not? Now, what about the diet? Do you have to have a certain diet when you are making preparing for it?
Yes, you have to have proteins.
All right.
A lot. Proteins and also carbs.
Okay.
To some extent carbs, but proteins. Yes.
Right.
That's the only thing that you should have.
Yeah. And I mean, I know that being a physician, but more so that was you were as a child also, you had the interest in that. But is there anything else that motivates you to participate in the marathons? And I see from when I was reading about your profile, that you have participated in international marathons as well?
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about how many marathons I did and what is the significance about them. I completed, alhamdulillah, 22 marathons, national as well as international. National means USA based. And all of them, they are very famous marathons. And once you complete those marathons, they give you a degree.
All right.
You are a doctorate in running.
Really?
Really, it's a PhD.
All right.
But for that, I did New York City 5 times, which is a big, they are the bigger ones. Then I did Philadelphia, that is called Philly Marathons, 3 times. Then I did, they are the big ones. The small ones, I don't even count them, but this one, yes. Then I did 3 marathons that I really want to talk about. One is the most prestigious and the oldest marathon in the world. Maybe so many people, they don't know about it who are not interested in marathons. That is Boston Marathon. Right. Boston Marathon is in USA. That was the first marathon in the world. That makes it very prestigious. And also that marathon has the most difficult course. 8 hills you have to pass. Literally 8 hills and steeps. And third is that marathon, you have to qualify yourself by doing another marathon, which should be not like any other marathon, but, you know, already recognized.
Okay.
So what I did qualify by doing Philly for my timing. They have specific timings that you have to do this much and then you can participate in Boston, which I did. And then I ran Boston Marathon, and I was so committed in running Boston that when I finished those 8 hills, my timing, I was amazed by myself. I'm like, wow, my timing was like 3.5. And that qualified me already for the next Boston Marathon Boston Marathon.
That is awesome. And was that the hardest marathon, or you've got other examples of very hard marathons?
Well, at that time I was so fit, Amara, seriously, and I did so much work in that was one of the hardest, but I didn't feel that hard.
For others it must be hard, but you did not feel
I did not feel. I was running like, I don't know, like flying somewhere, and I was so happy and excited. The other one was Chicago Marathon, and that had a purpose. We set up a burn center in Pakistan for poor people, and that was our first, I think, if I'm not wrong, I apologize if I'm wrong, but I think that was the first burn center in Pakistan that my husband worked for and I worked for.
Wow, that is awesome. So you raised money to support that burn center in Pakistan.
We actually opened that burn center in Holy Family, Rawalpindi Hospital, Holy Family Hospital. And I told my husband that I will run this Chicago marathon just to raise money for that burn center, which I did. But the hardest part in Chicago Marathon exclusively for that year was, it was a heat wave, unpredictable heat wave. You have no idea, it was so much hot. But I kept on going. So many marathon runners, they got sick.
Oh, so they do, some of them can't complete it also.
Yeah, heat stroke.
Oh.
They had heat strokes.
Okay.
Ambulances were everywhere. And unfortunately, I don't know exactly how many, but few of them, they died.
Oh, right.
Because of heat.
Of course, it is. It's very challenging to be
even for me, I was so fit, but still, I felt that. But I kept on running, no matter what. I was soaked in sweating, everything, but I kept on running.
Sounds like determination.
Determination again, just for those people. And because I am a person, I become crazy if I set a target, go get it.
Achieve it.
I have to achieve it, but it should be for the good purpose.
Absolutely.
So I raised, fortunately, 25,000 or more. I don't know exact, but it was definitely more than $20,000. And I was like crying when I finished that and I was like, Alhamdulillah, oh God, I'm so thankful to you that I'm one of those ones.
Because it's not just yourself, there was a purpose behind that kept you going.
Yes,
and
and now in that burn center, they are doing the fellowships for this plastic surgery in Holy Family. The government acquired that burn center.
That must be such a satisfaction for you.
Yes, and the idea of that burn center came from my drawing room.
Wow, that is awesome.
And the third one is your London Marathon, which is called Virgin Marathon, right?
Yeah.
So I always have a dream, because London Marathon is one of the most prestigious marathons in the world, and it's not easy to go into London Marathon to qualify. I did qualify as an international runner. I set a time that I will complete this in this much time, right? So 6 months I started running for exclusively preparing for the London Marathon, and I went to upstate New York, that is all mountains. And I did that. But unfortunately, when it was 4 weeks before London Marathon, I got injured, I fell, and I had hairline femoral fracture.
Oh. That didn't stop you?
Yes, but I was hiding that from my husband. I know if my husband will find out, he will never let me. And he said, "Why are you limping?" I'm like, no, that's just a contusion, that's just a sprain, please, I will be all right. I will have my Motrin. Motrin is ibuprofen, and don't worry about that. And he was like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure, we will go." And I asked my orthopedic surgeon, and he said, "Are you kidding me? No. For 6 months, you cannot run." And I'm like, "Okay, I will not, doctor. I will not. Thank you." And I ran. I am not telling other people, please don't follow. This is very dangerous. Yes, it could be dangerous, but I took the risk. I had my ibuprofen, lots of them. I took the risk. That can cause your kidney.
That could have caused more damage to the hairline fracture?
What do you think? What do you think? Being a doctor, hairline fracture, femoral, running 26.2.
But did you not think that if I damage myself more, I may not be able to do any marathon at all? Did you not think?
100 times I thought. But
where there is a will, there is a way.
Yes. But I told myself, listen, I cannot stop. This is my dream to run London Marathon. So I ran limping the whole course. And at the end, and I was taking ibuprofen. For first 4 hours, I ran good with that. But after that, I got really sick. And last 2 miles, I remember there was a very kind, running community is very good, camaraderie and all that. That lady, I still, God bless her, wherever she is, she looked at me and she said, "Oh God, you're sick." And I'm like, no, I'm not sick, don't touch me. She's saying, "No, we will do it together." So she held my hand, she literally dragged me, and we finished. And I was crying with happiness, not because I was feeling pain, but I was like, and I did my prayer, and my husband was there, and he said, "So you were okay?" And I said, "I didn't tell you, but I did have hairline fracture, femoral."
So how did
and he was
react?
like shocked, but after that he said, "Okay, you did take the risk. I'm proud of you, but don't do it again."
Yeah, absolutely. That is such an inspiration. And as much as I'm aware, you are the only Pakistani woman, a medic, who has completed 22 marathons. I think it's a record for a Pakistani woman. What do you say?
Thank you. Yes. Again, I will say, correct me if I'm wrong, and anybody can correct me, whoever are viewers, if I'm wrong, and I apologize in anticipation. I got this reward by different companies. They investigated at that time, researched, that I'm the only Pakistani descent woman who completed all these famous, including marathons, including Tokyo, Berlin, Paris, London, Chicago, Philadelphia, Boston, Washington, D.C., New Jersey, and many, many more.
Awesome. I mean, it's just,
Did I say Tokyo?
Tokyo, yes.
Tokyo.
So
now you can see I'm a PhD in marathon.
I'm sure you are a PhD in so many things.
Yes.
So, of course, as I'm understanding you as a child...
I'm sorry to cut you here. Let me include one more thing, which I'm feeling a little proud of right now. This is a moment that we are the only couple, my husband and I, Dr. Avais, who did finish marathons together.
So all 22 were...
No. He did only 2.
Okay.
And that's it. He has his own interest in other like cricket and golf. But he did run New York City and Washington, D.C. And we are the only couples.
That is awesome. I mean, I just can't imagine a clinician, a mother, a grandmother, and on top of that, an eager runner. It's absolutely amazing. So what would you say to our young Pakistani girls who probably have the desire and they feel inspired, but they feel that this is not for them because they belong to a culture where there are so many religious restrictions or inhibitions, you can say. What is the message you would give to them?
My message is, first of all, I want to say, like you said, like all others, I have a family, I have a busy job. It's all about keeping my priorities right. And for Pakistani women in that culture, I understand the obstacles, I understand what prevents them. But still, I salute to those athletes. They are still, and that, they do anything, any other sports, in spite of all these obstacles. My message is to keep fighting for your rights. I know it's chauvinistic society. I really mean it, that mostly men-dominating society. And when you see that society, everything is for men, men, men. all the sports for men, women, even if they want.
But you have proven it wrong.
But I have proven it wrong because I was fortunate enough to have that opportunity, Amara.
But a man who actually supported you.
And my husband is feminist, proven and proven. Again and again. He's my big support up till now.
So definitely you won't have been able to achieve your dreams if you did not have the backup of your husband.
Absolutely not.
So a message to the men out there, that is the most important thing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That actually it is the man. I'm not saying, oh, I'm a rebel. That doesn't make you rebel or rebellious of that society. Please don't take me wrong. That's an unhealthy activity. The men should change their mindset and let the women, if they want, they can do. Nothing is impossible. Please leave that stagnant cultural society a little bit more motivational and let them move where they want to be. And you will see the difference in 20 years, in 10 years, not even 10 years, 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And they can definitely create a happy environment because physical fitness leads to mental fitness because they are so interlinked.
Yes. Trust me, Amara. This job that I'm doing is not easy job, right? Emergency medicine especially. But my mind, that's what I'm saying. My mind works like a teenager. I feel, from inside, I feel like I'm 15 years old. I'm an old lady. I am grandmother. But just because of running marathon, and I'm not saying run marathon, like me, if you don't, but you can still...
Any physical activity.
Any physical activity, aerobics, you can go to gym. If you cannot afford to go to gym, you can have walking. If you have hills, those who live in mountains, they can do hiking like we used to do. Yeah. I'm coming from the same environment. Yeah. But
it doesn't cost anything, but it is so important because
it's so important.
From all the clinicians, whatever field of medicine it is, what I hear from them is that a good, healthy life is based on physical activity, which includes good exercise, good diet, and good mindset.
Yes.
And having all these three together would result in a very happy environment, and of course, like
yes, and
as parents, you can
on top of
set an example.
On top of that, that makes you disciplined. Trust me, that happened to me. More disciplined, mentally sharp, mental stability, and also those who are depressed, mood instability, or anything, psychological issues. Trust me, anything, if I am upset someday, I'm sad, or anything, things happens, right? Yeah. I go running. I'm crying and I'm running, and the moment comes, I feel relaxed. Because that balances all your hormones, and especially postmenopausal women, they do not feel hot flashes. Yeah. If you're a runner, I don't feel hot flashes. And it's good for your bones, like you said. And so it gives you mental stability. It gives you physical fitness. It is good for your cardiovascular system, your heart. And of course, heart is the center of all activities. Once your heart is doing good, that will impact your kidneys, liver, some people say, oh, too much, this is too much exercise, and that affects your bone, that causes arthritis and this and that. In my case, and in other cases, because I have so many runners who are my friends, Pakistani, non-Pakistani, and there's a couple of friends that used to have arthritis. They started running with me.
You must have inspired them enough, and they must have seen you, how your way of life is.
And it controls your obesity a lot. If you're obese, you don't need to go to, trust me, You don't need to go to liposuction and this and that. Please come run. If you have hypertension, if you have diabetes, trust me. No, then people will say, no, but I'm saying that helps.
I mean, definitely that's research.
Mental health,
what you are saying,
physical
it is all
health,
evidence-based.
Evidence-based, and all these issues that women have after menopause, trust me, hormonal imbalance, that balances. And even if I tell girls going through all those pains, you know, menstrual pains and all that, because of hormonal changes, premenstrual syndrome and all that,
it goes.
It goes away.
So, and the sooner young children start, the better it is for the later life.
Yes,
because it builds up
the sooner they start, especially for girls, because they have more tendency to gain weight, it's better it is. But I will not discourage the older ladies like me, myself.
It's never too late.
It's never too late. Trust me, if they say age is just a number. Please,
absolutely.
Age is just a number. Even if you have never done any exercise, anything, start step by step. I always tell people, I teach 10 minutes. Give yourself walking. 10 minutes. But the only clue, only thing successful, you'll be successful, that you have to be persistent.
Persistence,
Not that's one day I'm doing it and the next day I'm couch potato.
Absolutely. This is a good message, and certainly you have motivated me, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers would be motivated and inspired with what you have shared.
I have motivated my brother. He's also a doctor, Dr. Rizwan Khan. He is a graduate of Khyber Medical School. And he has become a marathon runner. And he ran with me, although I beat him 1 hour. I beat these men by 1 hour.
So there is no competition there.
But he got inspired, and he's thankful to me. And I have inspired my friend, Dr. Aisha Chaudhry, from, I think he's from Alama Medical School. And she did her half marathon. And she said she had some weight issues. She's like this now. And she's saying, I'm thankful to you. And a lot of my co-workers and we run together.
I'm sure, I mean, the way you tell all your experiences, it is motivation and definitely inspiration. So I just feel so motivated, and I feel like I should start doing it from today. So thank you very much, Dr. Tania. It was such a wonderful, experience you have shared with us, and given your stories, and most important message that where there is a will, there's a way. So we really appreciate that you came and you shared everything, your experiences and all the hurdles you have crossed. So we would like to have you again to inspire more of our viewers. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Amara, and thank you everybody who is watching me right now. And I hope that one day somebody will message you that, hey, listen, I got inspired by that lady, and now I'm running. And I have completed this marathon. And again, at the end, I would repeat my quote. I have learned that finishing a marathon isn't just an athletic achievement, it's a state of mind. The state of mind that says anything is possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much once again. So viewers, you heard Dr. Tania Avais, definitely an inspiration to all the women, but also men. The encouragement is needed from men to support their wives or their sisters or daughters to participate in the physical activity, because a person can only be happy if they are in a good physical as well as mental health, and both physical and mental health are linked. So hopefully you have got a good inspiration today. So goodbye for now. We'll be back with another show next time.